is Angel, and I'm going to make the literary master Edgar A.Poe Cas on Creative Sim. One of my favorite poets, Edgar. I'm going to read off a few things on Wikipedia and then look at the picture and know how he looks. Let's see. For one thing, Edgar's personality, they always said he was well dressed and clean. He always wore his coat to cover his tattered shirt because he's poor. So he would be a best-selling author, and he would be a genius because he was very smart. He was also very much into space, and he loved to take hikes. And he had a cat named Katerina. The thing with Edgar is that also people said he took opium, which was true, but the fact that it was only because he was sick and he swore off it for life because he only took it once, it made him worse than he was. And he was sick, I don't know what he was sick with, but it made him worse than what he already had. It made him sicker than that. He was born on January 19th, 1809, under the name Edgar Poe. He died on October 7th, and people never know why he died. And some say it was rabies, a brain tumor. Why is it the writer? So it's a click writer. And I say the thing that why is this thing not clicking? Why is this thing not clicking? They call it Frozen. I don't know what's going on. Okay, and I think it was coping because he was wearing other people's clothes, and they would drug the victims because there was. I looked up the research. There was a poll going on October 3rd, I think, or October the 3rd, and he died 4 days after, which was the 7th. If I'm not mistaken on that, and that would explain why he loves the outdoors too. Why he was wearing other person's clothes, and he was found delirious. He could never tell them what was wrong with him because he was so out of his mind at the time. And the fact that Griswold, his enemy, I'd say, he wrote this scathing review about him and a lying death, what they're called. I'm not very good at this job here. Let's see, what do they call it? Memoir or something? Is that what they call what? Obituary. Oh, thank you. Obituary. He wrote a lying obituary about him. He didn't have a skin. It's not letting me click on anything. I don't know why. He's very pale. And let's see.
Maybe
something is off. But I'm plugging in twice.
I don't know what mod thing is.
And let's see. It also says that actually those are the things I remember, but he's also best known for his poetry and his tales of mystery. Macrobay. I'm never good at pronouncing this. And he's also good at romanticism too. He wrote science fiction and detective fiction too. The most popular is The Raven Knights thing. He made a total of $9. He was also a rebel in high school and a rebel in college. He would show up drunk to class, it said, and he got kicked out of school on purpose because he didn't want to go. He went to some of the best schools back then. And he was being Mr. Rebel and decided to not go. And no one, some people speculate on his eye color, blue, hazel, or gray. Or someone even said purple, I think. Which is odd, but I don't know how people really have purple, but I guess I'm going to say hazel. Well, that's more like it. I don't know if he had a brownish gold or a greenish brown, but I'll just go with this. No one's particularly sure because there's not very many colored portraits of him, so no one knows, really. And we got hair for him. I don't know what's going on with this game. It is being very strange.
I think maybe the custom traits may have an issue. I don't know.
Something is going odd with the game. I don't know what's going on. It's just strange right now. But, I mean, it's just strange. But, okay, let's see. I'm looking at his picture. He has a mustache. That's the closest we can get to the hair because it's kind of hard to find anything. Is there a good mustache? There is a mustache. Edgar. Put your mustache on. Thank you, Edgar. He looks like Gene Scallop. I think it's funny. He does! It's funny. It's Gene Scallop. It does. It's funny. He has a large forehead. Well, he does, and it's the truth. So, I mean, we're going. He also had a fairly large nose. I love Edgar to death here. I just like the mess from this. It's not clicking. Help! Nicole, your game is haunted.
I think
Yes,
so.
Edgar doesn't like what you're doing.
I'm trying. Grab the nose. He just keeps pulling out a deep. Well, he did have a fairly large nose. It's the truth. He also married his first cousin, I think, Virginia. Virginia Clem. Refrain shower, okay. And I've heard reasons to protect her from something. Another one was because he loved her. I'm not sure. It said they had a brother and sister relationship more than anything. It said they never consummated the marriage on their honeymoon. But then I don't know how people know that, but I'm just going with things they're right. Anyway, Virginia got sick with tuberculosis. She kept getting sicker, and then she'd pull out of it some. But one day, whenever she was playing piano with the family, I guess a dinner or something, I'm not sure, that she coughed up blood when she was singing, and Edgar thought it was a ruptured lung. I called him Edgar, not Poe, because I'm not formal. But he would stay up all night writing, trying to make money to try to make her better, because he loved her. And it even said that whenever Virginia died, that he sat by her grave in the freezing cold snow, and a friend found him and had to bring him home because he loved her so much. He would just sit there and wait. I'm getting a little dark because he did have dark shadows under his eyes. I'm trying to make a lighter version, maybe that might be a little lighter on the eyes. That's a little greenish. But I mean, that poor man had a hard life, and I'm putting makeup on him. Nicole's laughing. Nicole's are cracking up because I said I'm putting makeup on him. Anyway, what is so funny? What am I doing?
Glitter. I just noticed it.
Where? I didn't put
The
glitter.
glitter eyeshadow. I just noticed it.
Oh my god.
That's
Yeah.
glitter for Edgar.
Anyway, I don't know say anymore. Anyway, he was very severely depressed after her passing, and it said that he spiraled out of control with his drinking, which is true. He drank a lot, and then it's hard to remember things I had here. But let's see, I'm looking at Wikipedia a little bit. He, of course, after he spiraled out of control, and he had a couple other people he dated and wanted to marry, but they all left him or something. I'm assuming or something. He died at the age of 40 in 1849. He went to the University of Virginia. He was also in the military academy after he got into a gambling issue, and his father left the family when he was 3. His mother died when he was 5. And so his brother and sister went to another family member. They left Edgar out when he was 5. He went to a friend, John. He went to a friend, John Poe, I think, or John Allen Poe, I think.
Yeah, they grew Hilda too.
And I'm not sure about the wife's name. But they loved Edgar and they spoiled him, but they also were very strict on him. And Edgar and his foster father, Alan, I'm just gonna call him Alan, they were in a really bad relationship because Edgar would sit there and gamble away all the money he gave him for school. And so Edgar, I guess, dropped out for me that reason. Because he wasn't getting any more money to go. Or because he didn't want to be there anyway, but he did it on purpose. But after that, he went to the army and enlisted as Edgar A. Perry. And after a year, he didn't want to be there anymore, and he asked to be signed out. And Alan said no, and Edgar had to stay there until his stepmother passed away. And then finally, Alan let Edgar go back home. And then after the day of the stepmother's funeral, he got to see her grave, which really devastated Edgar too. Let's see. His wife was named Virginia Eliza. I think it's pronounced it Eliza. I'm guessing Clem Poe. He was abandoned by his father, abandoned the family. His mother died the following year. He was orphaned. John and Frances Allen of Richmond, Virginia. They never formally adopted him, but Poe was with them well into young adulthood. Tension developed later as John Allen and Edgar repeatedly clashed over debts. Poe quarreled with money or funds for the education and enlisted under the army. Right, as I said. He wrote Tamerlane and other poems and credited to a Bostonian for only the name, didn't put his name, I guess, on it. And I also heard that people would sit there and switch around his poems and try to take credit for them. And it even said that after he died, that Griswold stole some of his work and claimed it as his own. So who knows? I'm going to call Griswold a bad guy, but who knows if something that people may love Griswold more than Edgar. I'm not sure, but you never know that something Griswold supposedly wrote could have been Edgar's that we never know of. I mean, what if there's something that he wrote that it was actually Edgar's, and they just never said so? I mean, because Edgar's pretty close. I mean, you never know. This looks something like they'd way back then. And he was always dressed nicely and always clean, they said. Right. Okay. Let's see. I'm trying to think of more stuff I don't know. I love this man and I know some facts, so. Oh yeah, I remember that one. Edgar was also, after he died, he was buried into the Poe family cemetery. But they put him in the back. They had a headstone for him, but it broke, and they never bothered getting another one. Then a school raised funds to get him a new headstone and even a statue. His houses are in New York and Baltimore and Virginia, I think. There's museums in his house you can go visit. And I would love to go there because it's not that far from here. They said he also had a trench coat. He would also have a cane and a top hat too. Sometimes when he walked. Another thing about when Virginia was sick, it said that the cat Katerina would lay on her chest to keep her warm, and because she had tuberculosis, and Edgar would let her sleep on his jacket for something softer than straw, and he would have another jacket under her head or something. And I guess he wouldn't wear his, or he had another one, I'm not sure. But he would do that for her, so she'd feel better. And he really loved her. A lot, as you can tell. Sometimes it's glitching. Alright, let's see. Edgar said his underwear. And he fixes weight. But Edgar was also a very thin man. He was very lean. and he was very athletic. He swam 6 miles in the James River. He was a really fast runner, and children loved him a lot. The children would call like a raven, and he would turn around and say nevermore, and the children would laugh and run off, and he'd chuckle. He was very good with children and animals, so usually that's a good sign of a good man. People put him as a horrible man, when all I see was a poor man who didn't really have anything to eat and was just alone after his wife died. He would go without anything to eat, and he would starve. And he would have to beg family for food and water and all that probably, I'm sure. Unless I had wells, I'm not sure. He had begged for food and everything for himself. Let's see. All they did for the day when Poe was found, it said either on a park bench or some stay on the streets and the freezing cold. It said that the cause of his death is unknown and has variously attributed to alcohol, they think, brain congestion. They said cholera, drugs, heart disease, rabies, suicide, tuberculosis, and other agents. Nobody knows. He also worked on cosmology and cryptographia. I'm not sure about it. Let's see. He was a legacy. And they sold some of his pieces at work at different auctions, which I'm surprised they didn't go for more than what they did, because it's him. But I mean, I guess it's just makeup or no makeup. I'm not sure. Yeah, he looks better without makeup.
His nose looks a little off.
But I mean, from what I know, he's a good man. From what I read, but we never know someone until you know them in person. But which we can never do. And I'm not gonna go back to time travel and go say hi, Edgar, and scare him to death. Right, Nicole? But let's see. It said that he died. It said, according to Joseph W. Walker, who found him, he was taken to Washington Medical College, where he died on Sunday, October 7th, 1849 at 5 o'clock in the morning. He was never coherent long enough to explain how he came into the dire condition, and was oddly wearing clothes that were not his own. He kept saying the name Reynolds on the night before his death. Wasn't there an election for a Reynolds on the 3rd? That's all he kept saying. So wouldn't it make more sense for coping then?
Yep.
Because he kept saying Reynolds before he died. He was wearing other clothes, which back then they would drug the people and send them in different kinds of clothes so they can go in and vote for who they want. Back in the 1800s. That sounds more realistic to me. Coping. If Edgar's a victim of that poor man never did anything to hurt anyone.
That's right.
You never see his teeth, so I don't know what to say about that part. He's just smiling. Hi, Edgar. But they can also make his kitty too. Kitty.
They don't have the breed though.
They don't have the breed?
No.
No. Yeah, I hope this looks something like Edgar.
What about his nose?
Alright. What about his nose?
I didn't know if he fixed his nose.
Nicole's laughing, I know. Nicole's over here snickering.
No, I'm not. You're making me. Because you're saying it.
Edgar's nose is huge. Nicole is snickering and laughing.
That's because you're saying
He did have a very large forehead. I'm just saying. Imagine trying to kiss this man. A bonk.
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm just messing around. Edgar's a very good man, seems like, and I love Edgar's writing, so. This is Edgar Allan Poe. The hair is not going to be perfect because, and he did have blue curls. But it's not perfect because they don't have specific hair. And here is Edgar. Did you fix his weight? No. I need to fix his weight real fast. I hope he has no tattoos. That'd be kind of strange. He was very thin. But he was well built, too. Because he did exercise and work out a lot. He was also a nature lover. There's so much other things you can learn about Edgar.
Read my story.
He is an amazing writer and author. And the world's gonna miss Edgar. I hope you like Edgar. Like, comment, subscribe. And I was just messing around about kissing Edgar. And his head being so large you can't kiss him. Like I was making a joke so Nicole would laugh. No, Edgar's a very nice looking man for his time. And also the ladies apparently swooned over him. Back then, the older women did. And he would read love poems to try to swoon the women. And the girls would love him and go crazy over the Edgar. Here is the Edgar.
Excellent.
Clem.
Too sexy for my shirt.
Clem.
Too sexy for my shirt. Too sexy.
Anyway, I hope you like it. Like, comment, subscribe. And should I do more creepypasta? Should I do more literary people like H.P. Lovecraft and I don't know anymore. I don't know anymore. Or should I make Stephen King? That'd be funny. Or make characters from there or something. I don't know. You can tell me. Anyway, I hope you liked it. Edgar's very handsome and adorable. I hope I did this right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.